Okay, in this I'm going to be talking to you about helicopters and how they work. So you got the main rotor on the top, of course, and then you got the tail rotor. The main rotor spins in one direction, and the tail rotor spins in a direction so that the way that the blades are angled will push the tail of the aircraft in the opposite direction that the main rotor is going in. That's because if you didn't have a tail rotor, the aircraft would just spin round. Because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the force required to spin the main propeller round, the main rotor round, would just make the aircraft spin around the propeller as well. So that's what the tail rotor is there to combat. How is the pitch and roll of a helicopter controlled? That's done by changing the angle of the main rotor. Not the angle of the main rotor. Actually, yes, let's go with the angle of the main rotor. Like so. And there's two ways to increase lift in a helicopter. One is to change the pitch of the blades, which means that at higher pitches they'll produce more lift, and the other is to increase the RPM of the main rotor so that they'll produce more lift by covering more distance and therefore applying more downward force in a given amount of time. So helicopters work on the basis of every action has an equal and opposite reaction, so it pushes the air down, pushing the helicopter up. And at low altitudes, very low, as in around 5 feet, there's the ground rule, which is that there's basically the helicopter's floating on a cushion of air, which means that it can remain at this height and be not able to climb simply because it's floating on its own cushion of air. So you can notice I managed to climb to about 5 feet, but I can't actually climb any higher unless of course increase the effective thrust of the main rotor. And I'm changing the angle of the rotor there to influence my pitch and roll, and I can change the speed or pitch of the tail rotor to swing around like that. So that's helicopters in a nutshell on how they work. Thank you.